Alright, so this is your typical optical fibre. When you take the lid off, the end looks like that. But inside of here is actually 4 individual fibres, and they've been linked together to form as one. But I'll take the top off and show you. So when you unscrew the top, you see that there's actually 4 fibres in an optical, and for each of these fibres you get a different reading. So once you screw the top back on, you plug your optical into an optical port like this. Once that's connected up to the customer scanner or the mobile studio, you can check your optical light readings by connecting your van laptop into the Snell switcher, which directly links to the optical fibre, and your readings will be given to you on the van laptop. At the minute, all these readings they're not real because nothing's actually connected up, but what this accounts for 3 optical fibres. So you get the first 4 readings, which are the first 4 fibres in that optical, and then the second 4, and then the third 4. And each of these numbers down here should be between roughly -8 to -16. At the minute they're -40, because -40 doesn't actually mean anything, it just means that there's no light passing through. So here's where you would check your readings. If any of these 4 readings were off with that fibre I've just connected, let's say they were higher than -16, I'd have to go back, take the top off, and individually clean each of those fibres. And I'll show you how to do that now. What you basically need is one of these, which is a 1-click fibre cleaner. I'll put this back on here. So I'll disconnect my fibre, take the end off of it again, so you can see the 4 fibres. Let's get that in focus. The 4 fibres on the end, I will individually clean all of them, or at least the ones that are showing up with a poor light reading, but in this case I'll just clean all of them. So what you do is you get your 1-click cleaner and you'd attach it onto the end. So you take this out. You attach it onto the end of each of the 4, and you just click it down and get that in focus. Yeah, so you'd just attach it onto the end, you'd clean each of the 4 fibres by giving each of them 1 click. You then reattach the end and connect it back up to the optical connection in the van, and you'd clean the fibre really at both ends of the cable. So you'd clean it at the end which is coming into the truck, and you'd clean it at the end. So there I am, just connect it back up. You clean it at the end of where the customer sits as well, at the scanner. And then you'd come back round, and again you'd check the light readings. Of course nothing's changed because we're not getting anything. But if the light readings had improved, then you would have known it was the cable. Had they not have improved, what I would do next would be I'd actually swap the cables around. So for instance, let's say we're using 2 opticals, which means we would have one, obviously this one here, and we'd have another one in one of these ports. What I would do is I'd swap the 2 opticals. So I put this one here and I put this one here, and I'd do the same at the other end. And then I'd check the light readings again, and if the light readings had moved with the cables, then I'd know that it is still a cable problem. But if the light readings hadn't moved, and they're still showing up in the same place on the laptop, then we know it's actually an output problem from the customer. As you know, now the cables are being used for 2 separate feeds. If the poor light levels don't move with the cables, this means that it's actually a problem coming from the source. So to actually combat the problem with the source, firstly you need to talk to the vision engineer. But if he allows you to, you then go up to his tailboard at the back of his truck, and he has connections very similar to this. And these are the same connections we would connect up to in the scanner truck. They look exactly like this. They're this type of port. And what you'd have to do is, in order to improve the light readings coming out of these type of connections, you actually need to push this forward. I don't know if you can see the kind of, you push it forward and it actually folds in, and then in there, well, I know you can't see because it's too dark, but in there are actually 4 fibres in each corner. So what you need to do is you need to somehow get this facing forward like that, so the flap goes down, and then you would actually put your fibre one click cleaner into it and click each of the 4 fibres in each corner, and then you'd reconnect your cable, and then again go back to the laptop and check the light readings to see if they've improved. If they haven't improved by that point, and then there's really not a whole lot more you can do, and it's really down to the vision guys from the scanner to combat that problem. And essentially what they'll probably end up doing is connecting you up to a different port, and just, you know, your feed's coming out of a different output.